Hello, my cryptids and creatures. Welcome to this week's Creature Feature, featuring me, the creature. I wanted to start a fun little project because this week I start grad school for animal behavior, and I figured what better way to celebrate the process of me going through all of this than building a zoo. This is what I want to do with my life, so why don't I prove that I can do it in a video game? I thought about building a franchise, but as you can see, I already have a couple hanging out down here. My Tobe Towns. As you will, we got Tobe Town, USA here in Florida, and then Tobe Town down under, obviously, hanging out in Australia. Actually, you know what? Let's just go ahead and plop a new zoo here over in Europe, since I am hanging out here in Northern Ireland. We shall make Tobe Town, Tobe Town Ireland. I have no plans going into this. I've hit up like two wildlife parks while I've been in Ireland so far. Hey, editing rants here. I had some problems with the way that OBS was recording my frame here. I think it was this little cat, this little Bongo cat that I have. So the frame gets a little weird throughout the video. I apologize for that. I'm gonna try and fix it as best as I can. I feel like this would be a good place to start, kind of get a nice survey. So it is floating a little bit, but we can go through and fix, well, we actually do have to go through and fix the pathing on here. Well, actually, we'll just go ahead and make this. There we go. So we have the start of our zoo here. Now, first thing we're going to need is some zookeeper buildings, because we need people to actually work in the zoo. We need to have staff. So we need vets, keepers, educators, mechanics, security guards, caretakers, and vendors. We're not going to have all of these to start. We're gonna just need a caretaker, a keeper. I want to get a mechanic so we can get started with decorations. The vets also. So we're gonna put the entire first staff village up here. So for those of you who haven't played this game, every staff member needs a certain building to basically hang out in if they need to rest or to deal with animals, to take care of sick animals, do stuff like that. So that's what we're placing down here, is just a bunch of these buildings for all of our different staff members. And I like to keep these clustered in little villages so that later on when we have a lot of staff members, we can just make a bunch of villages and dot them around the zoo. So the staff members all have a place where they can hang out and have their spot away from the guests, because the guests actually don't like seeing staff buildings. It gives them a negative reaction, which I never really understood in this game. I think the behind the scenes aspect of zoos is one of the best parts to see, but that's just me, I guess. So we're going to go ahead and place all these buildings down and connect them all up with paths so we have a nice place for all of our staff to hang out before we start putting in zoo animals and trying to get some actual guests in here. And you can see when I'm doing the pathing here, the pathing sometimes has a mind of its own. It keeps wanting to put stairs and other just weird connections everywhere. So pathing in this game it's something else, man. Just trying to get everything connected is something else. No, we do not want to connect the workshop like that. There we go. Not the prettiest little staff village here, but it will do for now. So now that we have all of that done, we need to figure out how we want to connect it to this path up here. I guess I could just loop it around here, which would mean that our first exhibit will go either here or up here. So we gotta figure out what we want first. So we are in a temperate climate in Europe. So I want to keep something indigenous to that region first. Doesn't leave us a lot of animals that I have right now. Probably as the series goes on, I want to add more just as I can treat myself with a couple of DLCs here and there. But I want something, flamingos are easy. I think I'm going to start with a nice flamingo exhibit. It does mean we're going to need to get some water in here. But that's okay, because I think that will be a nice exhibit to start off with. So here I'm just going through and outlining the kind of place I want to have my exhibit. And that way I can see the size and if we need to adjust any spacing or kind of layout requirements. So we have a nice circle here for the flamingos, and we'll just slap a habitat gate right there. That makes it an official habitat. What we can also do is, because this is, because guests can enter the habitat if we wanted to, we could have them just walk right through the flamingo habitat, but I think we're just going to keep it as like kind of the bridge. So as we can see with this habitat, it is 2,280 meters squared, which means we can fit a lot of flamingos in here, which is good, because as you will learn, flamingos breed like nobody's business. Anyway, we can fit a lot of flamingos here, and as you can see, up to 500 males and 500 females. They really like it, and we need a minimum of 10. So we actually don't have enough available in the market right now because they refresh every few minutes. So we are going to go ahead and pick up all of these. As you can see, the genetics on them aren't the best, but that's okay because we can breed better genetics. Like we can breed this one with someone that's got better fertility, longevity, and size, and get some of these good stuff in here. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and adopt these two. They're gonna now be waiting in the training center. I'm gonna leave this guy because his stats are a little bit bad, and we'll just check in a couple more minutes as we go. So yeah, they also last a very long time, so we do not have to worry about any of our flamingos dying anytime soon. So now let's go ahead and go through with the water plan that we had. So I think I'm trying to think of how I want to do the water here. Because I think I want to follow the mountain's natural dip and almost make it like a false waterfall kind of feel. So I'm gonna go into the terrain tools and shrink this, make this. There we go. So this is where the channel for the waterfall is gonna be. Alright, so now that is all settled. We've got 369 meters squared, nice. And our flamingo requirements, lovely. So with this, we can have enough water for a good 20 flamingos, which is perfect. Let's check the market again. Perfect. We got a lot more here. Definitely want to grab you. I don't mind if he's a little small. The immunity stat is one that I probably will shy away from anything that's in the red, because when one flamingo gets sick, they all get sick, so it's really... Go ahead. That one, that I believe puts us at 5. So we need 5 more flamingos for them to be in a comfortable social setting. let's go ahead then continue work on their habitat. We need a nice barrier. Ooh. Let's see. So this outer one we're not really too worried about because most people aren't going to see it. So let's go ahead and just everything around here, we'll just make a nice brick. Just raise it just to give the impression that that's the back wall. Now, here through here, we want to make, I guess we could make a glass, or we could make a wood with, so you could make it with glass. Could do that, I think this one, I'm going to turn off the glass. Oh, that's, we're gonna turn off the glass here. So we can put some stuff about the flamingos, or we can just kind of leave that blank and just funnel everyone this way and just have this as kind of like a employees only section, which is probably what we'll do. We're gonna keep these two ones for now as null barriers, and then the rest of this we could actually probably just go ahead and put it as brick. I guess we could do brick for this. And then, yeah, keep it as the glass, because then it just keeps it consistent. Alright, there we go. So, what I want to do with the path here, then, is make it a little wider. Is then loop it around so they can get a nice view. And then, oop, that's not what I wanted. Back to paths. What's the height button? I always think I could try new for some reason. Alright. And then have this like that. More. Can I not bring this down like how it seems? Let's just make this a little shorter then. Please, sir, I want to go back down. Alright, that's kind of obnoxious, but for now, we'll figure out something to do with that. Might have it go out to another habitat around here. Not entirely sure. Oh, I just don't think that's going to be big enough to get an underground path. That kind of sucks. That's okay. We can always just adapt. I can later try and do that with a different exhibit. So for now, we'll just go ahead and... What does not know on it? All wanted barriers. So just grab these two and do the same thing that we did last time. Which is just make these a nice brick. And that gives the guests a nice view of the flamingos. They can come up and see the whole exhibit. Still gives the flamingos a nice amount of space. So let's go ahead and check on our animal market. Just a few. Ooh, not very good. We'll grab you. Alright, so that gives us 6, which I think is enough to start, considering they all still have to be sent over to quarantine. So we actually, while I'm thinking about that, let's go ahead, I know I said I wasn't going to do it, but let's go ahead and get a research center as well. Because when our vet is done living on the flamingos, as we are doing more of our building, we can get them to be doing research on our flamingos so we can get them some nice habitats. And I'll go ahead and just Well, I don't know if there's a way to connect these two. I might have screwed over our building plans. Oh, there it goes. Just that. Put a nice, tiny staff path right through here. And I'll put some nice decorations on these so this looks all nice. And you don't really see this weird little staff path here. What a view at a zoo. Oh, where did I end up? I ended up in the staff building somehow. Saying, what a view. That's absolutely wild. Alright, so now we have our first exhibit. Yippee! Alright, hold on. First off, we actually need staff. So, we are going to hire... Love it. We are going to hire a... We are going to hire a caretaker. And we are going to hire a mechanic. Perfect. Now, it is absolutely pouring. It was like this when I went to the Belfast Zoo. It was so gross. Why are we eating vet surgery yet? We will get that later. We don't need that right now. Here's our little challenges. These get us some money, which is always good. So, now all of our animals are in quarantine. While we're doing that, we're going to get this place... Jesus Christ. We're going to get this place set up for some guests. First thing we'll probably do, considering we are placed in Ireland, so it is going to rain, is I'm going to make a nice temporary place to sit. Let's see. Oh, I got all my... Oh, I still have all my stuff unlocked from the last one. No. I feel like I unlocked a lot more than this. That's okay. We are going to... So, with franchise modes, all your zoos share the same, stuff. So go ahead and get researching... Not shelters. Where is it? Quarantine pass ready to leave. Perfect. Let me grab one. Try and find barriers. Here it is. So we can get one-way glass, which is essential for animals that are really shy. So, quarantine is passed for those two. Let's go ahead then and get these guys started and moved into their new habitat. Have our first animals. They are running. Look at that. Beautiful. Alright, so as you can see, they have a bunch of stats to make sure that their welfare is good. They've got nutrition, how good their meal was, how clean their drinking water was. Social group, as you can see, is very low, so they're not happy about that. The habitat, which includes terrain, plants, stuff like that, hard shelter, which we do need to provide for them. And then enrichment. So, start with the terrain. Space is good, water's good, too much long grass and not enough soil, which is really simple. We'll just go ahead and go into terrain here, into our terrain painting. Some nice soil and just go over most of this long grass here. And as you can see, as we do it, it's a little better. I'll actually go pretty hard on this. Totally get rid of all the long grass. We just want to paint it around. And that looks good. They actually could use a little bit more rock. So we're just going to paint some of this here. And they could use some more sand. So we're just going to put some nice sand around the water here. Just to make it look nice. Now obviously they don't like any snow because they are not those kind of birds. So, now that we have that, we can go into habitat and see what we need. Now we're going to need a nice, large food bowl for them. I'm debating whether or not to use multiple small food bowls instead of one large one. I think we'll do multiple small bowls. Just to kind of also spread them out so they don't get all clustered around one area. And then I'll put a nice sprinkler down here. For them, that includes an enrichment, so we just need a little bit more. I don't know if this water would count as their water needs, so we're just gonna go ahead. I like these because they don't need to be refilled. They're a little bit more expensive, but alright. The terrain modification in this game is flawless. And then we have a nice herb scent marker, so we're gonna toss a cup. We're gonna toss one of those in there. We don't have any food enrichment for them yet, so we gotta get on researching that, but that should be good for now. They need some hard shelter, so we can just go ahead and throw down one of these nice basic ones for now, and then later we can come in and do some design work and give them something nice to stay at. Actually, do we have a nice long one? No, it looks like they're just this. That's fine. We'll just go ahead and place this out the back here and place a couple of them for them. There we go, and we'll place some nice leaf bedding in these, and that should be them all set up. Let's see how that looks. That fills the hard shelter requirement. Alright. Look at these guys. They are loving it. Oh, and we've already got some people into our zoo, which is perfect. I do want to go ahead and put down some donation bins. And we'll put one more up here. You know what? This actually would be the perfect place for our benches. Here, one here, and one here. There we go. So we got some benches down. They can view the flamingos, and before I forget, let's go ahead and move the rest of them into the habitat. And we can also get started on our education by putting in some media devices. So, Zoo's primary job is to educate people. Also is conservation. But one of the big things is education. And we can do this by these little soundboards, height stands. These are little habitat speakers that I built, or habitat stands that have speakers on the back. And we also have conservation education boards. And let's go ahead, we'll put paw pad stand here for the kiddos. And we'll put one of the boards here. So we'll put it like right here. Right where the donation bin is. There we go. And this guy will move to the greater flamingo, and we'll have a little speaker out the back for the greater flamingo. So now they can learn about the flamingo right down here. There we go. So now we've got two little bits, and we can see how effective that goes with the education desk. So it looks like everyone's settling in good. Let's see, what are your genetics? Your genetics aren't bad. We can work on that. Your genetics are pretty good. Your genetics are definitely really good. Bit small, but the rest of it is good. Yours are pretty bad, so we're gonna go ahead and put you also in contraceptives. So that'll prevent rampant breeding. It's just putting a couple of them on contraceptives. But that's it. That's our first little place here. They don't have a lot of foliage. They don't like a lot, but let's see if we can maybe put some nice plants in here for them just to make it look a little bit nicer. Now let's tackle that problem with drink and food shops. They're also just going to get us a lot of money, which is always good. Food stall is perfect. So we're just going to go ahead and we're just going to use the default Planet Zoo ones for now. And then we'll get, as we get a little bit more time, and later on in the series, probably come back and get a nicer place. But there's a chief beef. And here is a gulpy. Can put these like pretty close. There we go. And now that we have food going around, we're also going to need. Where is it? There it is. A recycling bin. And a trash bin. Oh, well, I guess just recycling. We'll put trash on this side. 2 trash and 1 recycling. And now, there we go. People are queuing about what we want to make next. Kind of want to use like a big open space here. So let's go back to our Wikipedia. Something in a temperate, something from Europe. Oh, they also can live with the red deer. So we might be able to just make a deer habitat if we wanted a little bit extra space up here, which we could do if we wanted to just section this off as like a nice forest area. Let's see about that. So first thing I want to do is take this path and loop it around pretty much to the edge. There we go. So that leaves us with a lot of space here, and now we're just gonna go ahead and make the barrier the idea, at least, of what the barrier is gonna be. Alright, so we have a nice big open space here for our deer. I think this would gonna be really good. Let's see if we have any water requirements for either species, because it would be good to just go ahead and get these guys in. I don't plan on having guests walk through with the fallow deer. Maybe I'll have a smaller habitat for some of them that the guests can interact with. But, yep, looks like no requirements for water. We just need a grade 2 fence, which is just a little bit more sturdy of a fence. So it's anything basically besides the hedge, which is good because I wasn't planning on using the hedge. We'll go ahead, I think we'll continue with the red brick. It's a little bit more expensive, not as expensive as glass. I do kind of like it, so we're just going to go ahead. I don't know, the wood might be a little bit more natural. We can do both, so. Come on! There we go. So we'll just go ahead and take this whole thing. We'll make it the wood. I think the wood will look a little bit more natural with the 1.2 meters, 1.5 meters, perfect. So we're not jumping out of it anytime soon. Alright, and now let's go ahead and get our animals. So we need one more. Oh wow, you're beautiful. I like the different colors. Like somebody just put a bunch onto the market. So these are brought by other people. You can see names and their source, their zoos. I unfortunately do not have. Ooh, you've got really good immunity. We're gonna buy you. Quickly swoop you up. That's good. That's 3, which is our minimum social requirement. Yeah, I don't really need any males. So that's good. Now let's look at the... Let's get the red deer. Alright. Oof, that's terrible. Nice. Alright, she's not bad. Let's go ahead and talk to you. Let's look at real quick the red deer social. Alright, 1 male, 8 females. Yeah, basically the same. So we need another female and a man. I guess we could also, take the males out if we do breeding, because they do seem to get some good conservation credits. If we do the breeding, then we can... Which it looks like all these males are conservation credits, so we'll just go ahead and grab another female in a bit. What we can do, as we do breeding, we can move some of the males off to a, side exhibit, to where we can do, some guest interactions. Should we do, in this area here, might be a nice little space for, the European petting zoo. So I definitely want to do a lynx exhibit before we start going down, because I also want to sculpt a lot of this area. Now that that's all sorted, go ahead and press play and let those guys cook in quarantine while we figure out what we want to do here. So I think, these 2 sections we'll go ahead and put some glass in, and these 2 sections. I mean, we could also go through and do chain link fences, which is kind of cool. Do sections in chain link fence, so you can kind of just see the whole vibe. I kind of like that, so I think we're gonna go ahead and do it like that. And what I kind of want to do is move this section of it, and then move this section back a bit, so that I could, if I wanted to put shops or something. I think that'll be... There you go. I think that'll be nice. So we can put some shops and stuff in here. Anything at all? No? Alright. Well, we'll wait on that then. Let's go ahead. Our guys are ready to... She's just not having babies. Hopefully that doesn't be an issue. Well, we're gonna move them into here. You had your babies yet? Oh, I realized this building was clipping through the wall. To fix that later. She pooped! Da-da-da! Yeah, you were just... Oh! He's full-sized. Hello, Atif. You are 1 year old and you are already full-sized. What's your genetics like? Not bad! Not bad! Yeah, our deer at the zoo! They're all merging into each other. Alright. We need to figure out their terrain. They need a lot more short grass and probably a lot more foliage. Yeah, we're going to make this a nice forest for them. So we're going to go ahead and do the terrain and then come back once I've made a nice big forest for them. ahead and grab all of these guys and move them to this habitat. Go ahead and check on mechanical research. Alright, barriers is almost done. I think after we get this after we get this first barrier, we'll stop on the barriers and start to maybe get this Europe theme. Because from there, I think we can get some nice decorations started. But I think that'll look all nice. Please, good sir, I just want to place my bench. Okay, let's do this. What? Alright. I don't know if this is like worth it, but I do have a little bench seating area that people can sit and enjoy the view out the side or the back. I might do this and do like an animal talk, but for now, I'm just kind of learn. Ah, perfect. Hugo is ready to be moved. Ah. Look at them! That's so cool! So look at the new deer that just came in. He's nice. Look at him. Look. Ooh. I like this little goth chick that's hanging out here. Hello. She's a little bit hungry. No education. Oh, well, that's okay. They're gonna probably complain, but I would rather prioritize nice big habitats for the guests. Where are all my flamingos? Oh, they're all up here. Just wondering. Oh, they're all sleeping. I just want to go ahead and, while I'm in this section here, is put an info center. Totally forgot about that. No. So now we have an info kiosk that also will get us some education and some money. There we go, we got a nice... Alright, so just put a nice hedge in here. I want to get some decorations on it, obviously, and maybe some lights. But I think that's nice to kind of disguise this little staff path here. And allows people to... Oh my god, this is a bit chaotic. We might need to push these back a little bit. I think we're going to go ahead and do that. This has got a weird little caveat here, but that's fine. Oh yay, our deers! Oh, precious. Are you expecting offspring? Looks like it was unsuccessful. That sucks. And that's the first part of my Masters series. Let me know in a comment down below if you've got any suggestions or things you'd like to see in the zoo, and I'll see you for part 2.